Chapter 1. Hope and Despair. In the opening chapter of Behind Barred Shadows, we meet Marcus, a former high school teacher whose promising life spiraled into darkness after his descent into the world of drug dealing. From his stark cell, he reflects on his choices and the weight of regret that often keeps him awake at night. Through poignant snippets of his poetry, Marcus expresses a yearning for redemption, grappling with the loss of his former self and the hope that still flickers inside him. Layla, a young mother serving time for a crime of passion, shares her own tormented path, each word laced with fear and longing for her children, who are growing up without her. Together, Marcus and Layla's narratives intertwine, illustrating the fragile balance of hope and despair that permeates their lives. As they navigate their shared struggles, their voices create a haunting melody, one that captures the essence of humanity behind bars. Chapter 2. Friendship in Isolation. In the stark reality of Crescent Penitentiary, bonds forged in adversity become lifelines for survival. James, a gang member serving a lengthy sentence, reflects on the friendships that have formed between unlikely allies. "You'd think we're all enemies, but inside these walls we become family," he shares, recounting how shared experiences, struggles, and vulnerabilities have united inmates across rival factions. Amid the clamor of prison life, Sophia, a soft-spoken artist, reveals how her creative outlet becomes a bridge connecting her with others. "Art speaks where words often fail," she expresses, describing how collaborative projects create community and foster understanding. Together, their stories paint a vivid picture of resilience, illustrating how camaraderie in isolation cultivates hope and provides emotional support. In a world defined by bars and walls, these friendships serve as a reminder that connection can thrive even in the harshest environments, illuminating the shared humanity that endures behind closed doors. Chapter 3. Confronting the Past. In this poignant chapter, Evelyn, a survivor of domestic abuse, opens up about her tumultuous journey toward healing. "I felt like a ghost of myself," she confesses, recounting the darkness that overshadowed her life before incarceration. Through her words, we hear the echoes of pain, yet also the fierce determination to reclaim her identity. She reflects on how facing her past has fueled her desire to empower others, sharing her story as a form of liberation. Carlos, meanwhile, shares his own struggle with anger that led to a fateful crime. "I acted in a moment of rage, and it changed everything," he says, grappling with the aftermath of his actions. His path to forgiveness is fraught with challenges, yet he finds solace in understanding his triggers and seeking redemption. Together, their narratives reveal the importance of confronting trauma, highlighting the profound journey towards self-acceptance and healing that transcends prison walls. Chapter 4. Dreams Beyond the Walls. In this inspiring chapter, we delve into the aspirations of inmates determined to reshape their futures. Derek, a skilled mechanic, describes his journey through the prison's vocational training program. His voice, tinged with passion, illustrates how he repairs not only cars but also his sense of purpose, finding hope in mastering a trade that could provide for him upon release. Meanwhile, Anya, a tech-savvy entrepreneur, shares her innovative ideas for starting a sustainable business. Through her drive and creativity, she envisions a life built on independence and success, far from her past mistakes. Their stories intertwine, emphasizing the transformative power of education and self-improvement. In the echoing halls of Crescent Penitentiary, these inmates serve as testaments to resilience, proving that even within the confines of prison walls, dreams can ignite the path to a brighter future. Hope can thrive, reminding us that change is indeed possible, one day at a time. Chapter 5. The Cost of Freedom. In this poignant chapter, Jordan, a father serving a short sentence, reflects on the emotional toll that incarceration takes on his family. He shares heart-wrenching moments of phone calls home, where he hears his children's laughter fade into silence, replaced by the weight of distance. With each passing day, he grapples with the guilt of missed birthdays and school events, questioning whether they will still recognize him upon his release. Camila, an inmate mourning the loss of her brother to violence, narrates her experience of grief and despair, emphasizing the ripple effects that crime inflicts on families. She recounts how her brother's death not only shattered her family, but also deepened her commitment to breaking the cycle of violence. Together, their stories illuminate the profound impact of incarceration, reminding us that the chains of confinement stretch far beyond prison walls, entangling loved ones and communities in their wake. Chapter 6: The Weight of Guilt. In this raw and introspective chapter, Marcus grapples with the haunting guilt of choices that shattered his life and his family's dreams. As he recalls moments from his past, listeners can hear the pain in his voice as he acknowledges the lives affected by his decisions, reflecting on the burden of accountability. The chapter then shifts to other inmates who candidly share their own stories of guilt. Evelyn recounts the moment she made decisions that led to her incarceration, expressing deep remorse for the cycles of pain she perpetuated. Carlos, too, reflects on the anger that drove him to a moment of violence, revealing how guilt has become a constant companion in his journey. Through powerful narratives, this chapter explores how guilt shapes identity and influences the path to redemption, emphasizing the need for self-acceptance and the possibility of forgiveness. Chapter 7: Finding Forgiveness. In this poignant chapter, Evelyn shares her harrowing journey toward forgiveness, describing the emotional weight she carried from years of abuse. With a shaky voice, she explains how confronting her past allowed her to reclaim her identity and no longer define herself solely by her victimization. She reflects on the moment she realized that forgiveness wasn't about excusing her abuser's actions, but freeing herself from their grip on her life. Carlos, serving time for a crime fueled by a fleeting moment of rage, also wrestles with the burden of guilt. He narrates his path to forgiving himself, emphasizing that understanding his triggers and seeking help played a critical role. Together, their insights illuminate the complex nature of forgiveness, not only as a gift to others, but as a crucial step toward healing oneself. Their voices echo a powerful message. In the pursuit of forgiveness, liberation can finally be found, even amidst confinement. Chapter 8: Creating a New Narrative. In this chapter, we delve into the transformative power of storytelling and self-expression. Sophia, a quiet artist, shares how her journey through art has reshaped her identity and provided an outlet for her emotions. In vivid detail, she recounts creating murals on the prison walls, using vibrant colors to express feelings of hope and renewal, contrasting the drab environment around her. Other inmates echo her sentiment, sharing personal stories of how they've rewritten their narratives, from labels of criminal to survivor and learner. By engaging in poetry and creative writing workshops, they discover new dimensions of themselves and challenge the societal perceptions that confine them. This chapter illustrates how embracing vulnerability through art empowers inmates to reclaim their stories, fostering a sense of agency and connection. Ultimately, their voices are powerful brushes, painting a more nuanced narrative of resilience and growth, turning pain into purpose. Chapter 9: The Calling of Family. In this poignant chapter, we delve into the deep emotional ties that keep inmates anchored to their lives outside the prison walls. Jordan, a father serving a short sentence, reflects on the bittersweet moments spent with his children during visits. "Every time I see them, I'm reminded of my mistakes, but also of my love for them," he shares, highlighting the complexities of parenting from behind bars. Other inmates resonate with this longing, sharing letters and voice messages that serve as lifelines to family members. We hear Camila, who lost her brother to violence, recount the pain of separation and the hope of a future reconciliation with her estranged family. This chapter captures the essence of love and sacrifice, unveiling the haunting reality of disconnection while emphasizing the enduring power of familial bonds, illustrating how these connections fuel the desire for change and redemption amid incarceration. Chapter 10: Mental Health Behind Bars. In the dimly lit corners of Crescent Penitentiary, unseen battles rage within the minds of inmates. Layla opens up about her struggles with anxiety, reflecting on the suffocating pressure of confinement and the lingering fears of her children's future. "Every day feels like a whirlwind," she confesses, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Throughout the chapter, soundscapes of distant echoes and heavy breathing underscore the emotional weight carried by many. Inmates from various backgrounds share their experiences with depression, anxiety, and trauma, revealing a stark reality often obscured by prison walls. Derek, an aspiring mechanic, discusses the therapeutic effects of vocational training, while others highlight the limited mental health resources available, including therapy groups that offer fleeting moments of solace. This chapter emphasizes the urgent need for mental health support in prisons, illustrating how addressing emotional well-being is crucial for rehabilitation and healing, both inside and beyond the concrete confines. Chapter 11. Facing the Legal System. In this chapter, Carlos recounts his harrowing experience in the courtroom, a place that symbolized both hope and anxiety. As he recalls the moment he faced the judge, his voice trembles with the weight of disbelief. He reflects on the inadequacies of his defense, the oppressive atmosphere, and the glaring realities of a system that often feels impersonal and unyielding. Other inmates join in, sharing their stories of legal struggles and the feeling of being trapped within a maze of bureaucracy. They discuss the disparities in representation and the often harsh sentences that seem to overshadow any hope for rehabilitation. Through their personal accounts, a common thread emerges: the overwhelming sense that justice is far from blind. This chapter highlights the emotional toll of navigating the legal system and underscores the importance of reform, as inmates express a yearning for fairness, understanding, and a second chance at life. Chapter 12. Coping Mechanisms. In the midst of concrete walls and limited freedom, inmates develop unique ways to cope with the daily struggles of prison life. James, a gang member with a long sentence, reflects on how he uses humor and camaraderie to create a sense of levity amidst the brutality of his surroundings. He shares stories of laughter with unlikely allies, illustrating how these moments of joy provide respite from the harsh reality they face. Other inmates chime in, discussing various mechanisms such as meditation, exercise, and creative outlets like writing and drawing. Layla, battling anxiety, reveals how structured routines offer her a semblance of control, while Marcus turns to poetry as a means of expressing his inner turmoil and longing for redemption. Together, these narratives illuminate the resilience that human beings can muster even in the direst situations, showing that the spirit can find ways to endure and thrive, even behind bars. Chapter 13. The Role of Education. In this chapter, we delve into the vital role education plays within the confines of Crescent Penitentiary. Derek, a skilled mechanic during his free life, passionately shares his transformative experience in the prison's vocational training program, where he learned not only technical skills, but also the value of discipline and teamwork. It's like a second chance, he says, reflecting on how education has ignited a spark of hope among inmates. Jasmine, a young woman serving time for minor offenses, adds her voice to the conversation, emphasizing how the GED program has opened doors to new possibilities. Education gives us a voice, she explains, underscoring the significance of learning and shaping futures beyond bars. Through candid testimonies, we explore the barriers that still exist, challenging the notion of rehabilitation by showcasing the critical need for more accessible educational resources. In this journey of learning, these inmates begin to envision a life filled with opportunities, reclaiming their identities as individuals capable of change.